So it's time for us to go and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 and see how this specific tablet holds up in 2023. Now, this tablet originally came out in 2020, so we are approaching 3 years old from this tablet's initial release, and technically we've only gotten one successor to this tablet since then. Even though it's been 3 years, we've only gotten the Galaxy Tab S8, which I also think was a beautiful tablet, and I love that tablet a lot. But the Tab S7 was a very, very good tablet, and I'm a massive fan of how Samsung made this specific tablet as well. So if you want to pick up a Galaxy Tab, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there, and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside of the Galaxy Tab, the specific tablet had an 11-inch TFT LCD panel on the front. Now, the one thing that I really liked about this panel was that, one, they pretty much removed a lot of bezel and they made this panel look much better than I would say its predecessor. It looks very good, doesn't look cheap at all, and basically the Tab S8 kind of looked a little bit like this too. Although the Tab S8 Ultra had a really good panel, this one with its TFT panel, it definitely isn't the best panel of all time. You know, I would much rather have an OLED display, which it looks like the Tab S9, all of them are going to have OLED displays. We have a 120Hz panel here though, which is super nice, and the resolution is very high as well. So with a tablet like this, you are getting very high resolution and you're getting 120Hz. That is a very, very good panel. And now that this tablet has been out for about 3 years now, that kind of makes this thing a little bit of a better deal because it has also gone down in, price tag as well. So I still think the outside, at least on the front of this thing, still looks great. You do have the flat sides on this thing as well, which also look very good and very sharp. Having those types of flat sides is awesome, and I'm very glad that we still have that type of feature set, or at least that type of design language on the Galaxy Tab S8. We have a USB-C port on the bottom, which is very cool. We also have a microSD card slot on this device as well, which is also very awesome. So you can easily go ahead and expand the storage if you want to, and that is something that I love doing. Having any phone out there that actually gives you the ability of expanding the storage is perfect, and that's pretty much exactly what you're getting on this type of device. So from those things, that gets a thumbs up from me. Now on the back, you do have basically the aluminum back, so nothing glass or anything, which is expected on a tablet. You have a little line thing going down from the back of the camera, and this is basically where you can put that stylus or that S Pen. And I'm pretty sure the Tab S7 came with an S Pen built in completely for free. So that was something that's really cool. With some other devices like iPads, you have to buy those styluses separately, but with this one, you don't have to do it. It comes straight in the box. And you can use that S Pen for tons of different things. You can go ahead and basically use it for drawing or whatever the case that you wanted to do with. You have the S23 Ultra that basically has the same type of capability. The Note phones have the S Pen as well. So this device having it is another really cool plus point, and I'm really, really happy about that too. So on the outside, I'll definitely tell you, the Tab S7, it looks beautiful, it still performs very, very well, and I'm a big, massive fan of how this specific tablet holds up. So if you're wanting a tablet that looks pretty good on the outside, this will definitely give you that for sure. You also have a nano SIM card, support on this thing too. So if you wanted to go ahead and basically, use this thing as a cell device in a way, if you want to get data from it separately, well, you can go ahead and do that and have that type of capability as well, which is honestly very, very cool. Now moving on to the cameras, this thing on the back had a dual camera setup. It was a 13 megapixel wide angle camera and a 5 megapixel ultra wide camera. And on the front, you were getting an 8 megapixel wide angle camera. Now the problem, maybe not the problem, but the thing I've always seen Samsung do a couple of times, including other phone manufacturers, is that they will put an ultra wide camera here, but they will really not give it too many megapixels. In this case, megapixels are not everything, but having an ultra wide camera that has less megapixels than your wide angle camera can give you a little bit of a weirder approach. And this is fine because it's a 3-year-old tablet, but I'm really hoping phone manufacturers never do this kind of stuff in the future. I think OnePlus has done this before. Someone has done this recently, where their ultra wide or telephoto lenses are less megapixels. That isn't really the best case scenario because you're going to have very, very different, video quality if you're zooming in and zooming out. The video and photo quality between those two lenses can vary greatly. And if you're zooming in, let's say into a photo, or if you're zooming out into a photo in this case, the video, if you're filming, is not going to really look that smooth. It's going to look very choppy, and you're going to have a smooth, camera and then a kind of outdated camera for the ultra wide. It doesn't really look that great. You're still getting tons of features built into that specific camera though too, which is really nice. So you're still getting, I mean, Samsung puts so many features inside of their cameras, which is really cool, but you're only doing 4K at 30 on the back, and you're doing 1080p at 30 on the front, which is nice, but maybe it would have been better had this thing had a little bit of a better, camera setup, more resolution or high resolution you can film in. But I think regardless, still a very good phone. There's not really that much to complain about here either. So in terms of the camera setup, that kind of covers it up there as well. Now in terms of software and longevity, this is probably the one area of this tablet that I'm not like super fond of. So it started off with Android 10. Right now, I believe it's on Android 12L or something like that. It's probably getting Android 13 very soon, but I don't know how much longer this tablet's going to last. I believe this thing has the same chipset as like the Galaxy S10 or Galaxy S20. So you're going to be in a kind of interesting situation with that type of device, mostly because we don't know how much longer it's going to last. If it's going to last another year or two, like who knows? Their tablets, they typically do a pretty good job at keeping it supported for quite a bit of time, which is always nice. But in this case, it is going to be tough to tell. So we're going to have to kind of see. I think in this case, this tablet's still going to be supported for maybe a little bit of time, but even if not, it's still got a long software support ahead of it. So that kind of sums it up there. In terms of performance, this thing has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 chipset inside with 6 gigs of RAM on the base model, but it does go up to 8 gigabytes of RAM. Now, the thing I've always stated about the Galaxy Tab S7 was that having the same type of specs inside as their phone or their flagship phones of that year is always a really nice touch. And I really like having that with even a tablet like the Galaxy Tab S7 because you're getting a very good performing device. Just because it has the same internals as their phones doesn't make this like a bad tablet. This is a very, very good tablet from that standpoint. So that's always gotten a thumbs up for me. Well, no matter really what you're going to do with it, whether it's basic performance, whether it's heavier intensive performance, you're going to be in a really good spot from that standpoint. So I think from, that situation, it gets a thumbs up from me. Now, even if you're trying to do like heavy intensive gaming, or if you're trying to do like emulation gaming or stuff like that, you might be in another weird type of spot where you might be in a good spot, but it's not going to be the best case scenario of all time. So just keep that in mind. But I think this is still a very, very good performing tablet when it comes down to it, even though it's about 3 years old as of right now. This thing also has an 8,000 mAh battery inside, which is pretty insane. That's a really big size battery. And you have to kind of remember that when you have a device like the Tab S7, that battery size has only gotten smaller over time because it's degraded, but it's still a very, very good size battery for sure. So to kind of sum up this video, what I'll definitely tell you is I think the Galaxy Tab S7 is still worth buying for sure, but I would probably weigh your options. So you have a few options besides the Tab S7 that you can buy. For one, you can buy, a variation of the Tab S7 that's a little bit more powerful, or you can also buy the Tab S8. I think the Tab S8 might be the better option for some people out there. That is the newest tablet. There's probably going to be a successor this year, the Tab S9, but you have few options between the Tab S8 as well. You can get the S8 Plus, you can get the S8 Ultra. Those types of tablets, I'm telling you, I still use mine from day to day, and I love that tablet a lot. And I do think it was a pretty big difference coming from the Tab, S7, if I'm being honest. So take it as you will, but I think the Tab S7 is still good. It's a good tablet, and if you can get it for a much cheaper price, then go for it. But I think the Tab S8 in the used market would probably be the one I would recommend the majority of people to buy. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.